So, in the losers bracket now, we have Team Space going up against 31 APM, and Volskaya Foundry is our first map. Best of 3 series, the Underdog Cup continues, Division 4 and Division 5 out of Heroes Lounge. Now, a little bit of a short tournament to give the amateur scene a moment, a chance to shine. And then we're heading into Meta Madness with the next tournament, but we're going to have some fun with this one as well. First Underdog Cup in the new patch, so we're going to see what the bottom teams are going to do here. And it should be kind of entertaining. We had some pretty cool picks. We saw Murky, we saw Samoro, we saw Lily, for example, as well, which was a wild pick to begin with, but some crazy games too, I gotta say. And now we're heading into our losers bracket series, which means whichever team loses now is out of the tournament. Chromie is the first one to get the ban hammer here. And, well, for Team Space, we'll see if they are successful here. Both of these teams were struggling in the winner bracket. They went up against opponents that they were a division higher than themselves. Jojo now banned. And we haven't seen Volskaya here in this tournament yet either. Volskaya, one of the few maps that actually didn't see any changes in the last patch, because Blizzard looked at it and was like, this map is so amazing. It is so incredible. It doesn't need any changes. So, yeah. Now, Volskaya, obviously, I wish at some point that they would rework this a little bit. That would be kind of nice. But, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people actually that are always talking about, you know, we need more content. And I agree that we would need a couple more heroes. And Heroes of the Storm would be nice if we would get some. But every time that I hear anyone talk about how we need more maps, I just want to, you know, just like... Because the one thing that we don't need is more maps. We need the maps that we have getting changed, rebalanced, improved. But we already have way too many maps. I actually think we really have too many maps. I'm currently in a spot, like, for example, a lot of people that watch everything that I put out and that have been following some of the stuff that I did with the alpha of March of Giants. March of Giants is a new MOBA that has some RTS elements. They are still in development. They had an alpha and it was super fun to play. And I'm not quite sure if they are going for more maps or if they only have one. But I think the real sweet spot would be if you would go for, I don't know, some maps, maybe 3 to 5. And that would already give you a lot. And then you can work with, for example, different themes on these maps with like winter, summer themes or whatnot, or holidays. You can do a couple of things and just make slightly small iterations. But having too many maps in a pool, one thing that has clearly been shown in my eyes is that people just don't understand how to play the maps properly if there's too many. They really struggle to figure that out. On the one hand, you want to have a little bit more diversity and keep, you know, people engaged. I think that it's the logical development of what we're having with Dota and other MOBAs where you have just a single map. But having too many of them causes so many problems. So more maps is definitely not something that we in Heroes, for example, need. If anything, just reworking some of the maps and changing them to make them a little bit more balanced and engaging. But yeah, a little bit of a side tangent here. We get Nazeebo again as one of our damage picks. I mean, this is a map that usually runs a bit late. So you can try and leverage that. Normally when you see that early, you're trying to push quickly. You're trying to get the Nazeebo team into a spot where even when they hit level 20 in Vial Infection, they are not able to fully capitalize on it because they're already too far behind. So we get ETC, Jaina, Stukov, and Leo. That's an interesting one there too. I actually like Nazeebo if they can maintain that. I would love for, at some point, somebody to try the old school strategy, getting Ragnaros in and just using Ragnaros to defend against the objective. But Nazeebo has a very good shot at getting towards a decent late game here. So, 100%. They still have to pick their front line, have to decide what they want to work in as the second damage dealer. And Nubarak and Jimmy! Okay, now the question, are we going to get stacks for Jimmy? They got some slows, they got stuns, so Ace in the Hole is not a bad choice, but are they just going to stack him up? Or how is this going to play out for him? Cassia is the second damage dealer for 31 APM. And well, with that, we are set to go. So, Team Space, everybody, against 31 APM. Volskaya Foundry is our first map in the best of 3 series. First game in the best of 3 series between Team Space and 31 APM. Over on the left side, we got Echo on Reyna. We got Amphora on Blaze. Quibi is playing Nazeebo and goes straight into Spiders. Owlphilia on Nubarak, and Fox on Anduin. So, on the right side of the map, 31 APM with Phoenix playing ETC. We got Inspector on Stukov, Florian's on Cassia, Gaggle on Jaina, and Dr. Shivago is playing Leoric. Actually going to Austin's Renewal for some added self-sustain. Jimmy is still teasing us here. Hasn't picked a talent yet. That's obviously the one that we're still waiting for here. Trying to figure out if he goes stacks or if we're going to get ace in the hole for him. Would venture to say that all the other talents probably don't make too much sense for him right now. Spray game from all of them, by the way, absolutely on point in the middle. I like that. So they're having some fun with this. And talking about having fun, apparently Jimmy is having quite a bit too. And there it is. He indeed goes 4 stacks. So we currently have Veteran Marksman as a level 1 talent. So they're really trying to go for a late game where they can not only boost Jimmy's damage and his survivability with Behemoth Armor as a level 4 talent, which will happen, but they also rely on Nazeebo to get his stacks. So this is what we're gonna get here. And yeah, will be interesting if they can make that work. It's a pretty decent strategy if you can just slow the game down a bit and then get towards that late game. If they can pull that off or not, that's a very different question. And, well, something that we're going to find out here. So, down at the bottom of the map, we got Blaze already pushing a bit. Nazeebo is so far doing okay. It's a bit of a trap that is being set up here. Nobody has gone for any of the items yet. So, we haven't seen a play for any of the turrets. And, yeah, down at the bottom of the map, still that 1v1 is the only real battle that is still ongoing. But by now, we're having, for example, the rotation headed back towards the top. And this just really boosts mainly Nazeebo. If you do that, Nazeebo is going to get some initial stacks. He's going to start progressing. I think I wouldn't go full spider build with this probably. Go on level 4 for your Voodoo Ritual boost. We'll see in a moment of what exactly he decides to do here. But that would really help them. With all survivability and of course later the mana pool too. Don't think that you have to go for a full spider approach. Jimmy is still with the damage output as they're going for the next camp. And only 1 item has been taken so far. Only 1 turret has been claimed, which is a bit strange to me because that's normally one of the first things that you actually go for. And the blue team has just simply let that slide and didn't go for that whatsoever. We're getting a full spider build, by the way, after all. So Nazeebo decided that he wants to go full-on spiders in this one. And, well, there's another item already in the hands of 31 APM, so they got a healing beacon on top of it. 3 stacks for Jimmy, not really a whole lot. I mean, again, if you want to go for stacks, you have to hit your 60, 70 stacks in order to make this really work. Nazeebo is a different story. He's actually doing pretty okay. We're only 2.5, 3 minutes in, and he's already at 44 stacks. Unless they start farming him and deny him all chances of continuing the stacking progress, he should be totally fine. He's taking very safe rotations between the lanes too, so no aggressive plays that could be interrupted by the opponent. So all of this is working out very nicely. Quibi knows that his job for now is not to do an enormous amount of damage or anything. Anything he can contribute is nice, but his job is stay alive, stack, get to 20 and contribute in the meantime everything that you can. First objective is up and it's actually the blue team that is pulling ahead on the Protector. And Nazeebo has now crossed over into 50 stacks. We have 5 stacks for Reyna, who by the way has not gone into Behemoth Armor but instead sustaining rounds. Ah, nice jet propulsion. Really good connect here. So, sustaining rounds for Jimmy, and he gets some more stacks on this, but also quickly becomes the target and is first blood in the game. With Blaze, oi. Yeah, a little bit of a Sudoku move by Jaina here. So, she commits honorable Sudoku as she is just way too deep. And Team Space is saying, hey, if you don't want to live, then we are happy to oblige. We're going to help you out on that. So, yep, there it is. Jaina goes too deep, can't get the kill on Blaze, and instead dies herself. So, a little bit of a sad moment here, I would assume, for 31 APM, but Jaina just got way too greedy in that one. 8 stacks for Jimmy. Level 7 gives us Fuel the Rush, and they're still fighting for the objective. I mean, this is actually really good for Jimmy. The longer this lasts, the more opportunities he has to get some shots in. He needs those auto attacks and work those in. Can toy around with Cassia a little bit too. Anything that he can work in regards to auto attacks and boosting this is great. Owlphilia is able to move out of the fight. Yeah, but not so much. Ooh, Blaze gets the heal. Yeah, and actually makes it. Seems like the objective is going to be taken, and that's a Protector. Protector means easy stack time for Jimmy. They really wanted Stukov here and barely missed out on it. But Jimmy needs to mirror the movements of the Protector right now. I have no idea why he's staying in the middle. Like, he really needs to go down to the bottom. That's the easiest stacks that you're going to get, my friend. So, yeah. They move in with the Nubarak. Jimmy is here too. Didn't go for the safe path or anything, so need to be careful that they're not getting flanked. But he works the attacks in. Has also Stukov here. They're actually trying to dive behind. There's the jet propulsion. That's a kill. Stukov is gone. Nazeebo is dealing with Leoric at the top lane. And down here, we still have some extra stacks for Jimmy up to the point where he's hit and pushed back by the fist. So, not a lot of value yet out of the objective. I mean, shocking, I know. Who has ever thought and heard of the objective on Volskaya Foundry not having an absolute insane impact on the gameplay and what's happening on the map? Absolutely unheard of. Blaze is already pushing with the minion wave. Yep, Inspire kicking in and doing some nice damage here. Trying to jet propulsion out and then gets hit by the Entomb. Bye-bye! He's gone. Bye-bye. So, easy kill on Blaze. And Jimmy is going for the next camp here. 91 stacks for Nazeebo. We're hitting level 10 slowly. So, Nazeebo, he's totally fine. But 31 APM is starting to pull ahead here on this one a bit. Slight lead in experience that they're now running over the opponent. They might even be able to take that forward. Probably not quite, but they dropped it real low. But again, it's that late game that is really a big of a concern. When it comes to rogue abilities, the one thing that is maybe worth pointing out is that Nazeebo went for Gary. So he took Gary the Gargantuan here as his level 10 choice. Didn't go into the Ravenous Spirit. But I have him now at 101 stacks and still working the numbers in the middle at this point. So still boosting also his own hit point pool, the mana pool a bit as well. And again, he's doing okay. Damage output up to now, 17,000 for Cassia. We have 16,000 for Nazeebo, so you already contributed a lot. When it comes to Jimmy, he might become a little bit more dangerous in the later stages of the game. Talking about dangerous, yeah. Nazeebo hesitating, that nearly cost him his life here. If he would have just continued on his path, he would have been fine, but he actually changed his mind midway. Cassia, though, gets hit by the light bomb, and that's a kill. ETC just sliding back when mosh, but can't really get anything out of the mosh pit here. So that's another one. Yeah, well, this could be the first healing beacon for the team. And yep, they're gonna get it. So, healing beacon for Team Space. Still maintaining contact in XP. This is the important part. If you're running Nazeebo and you're really looking for the late game, which obviously they emphasized even more so with the choices that they made for Jimmy. But if that's your strategy, then you need to try and stay as close as to your opponent as you possibly can with all of the tools at your disposal. They're targeting on Fora again, and Blaze, there's a jet propulsion. I've seen this before. Yeah, bunkers up, and is likely still gonna fall. If he gets the cooldown back for the jet propulsion, maybe, and nope, it's just not happening. So, yeah, that's another kill against Blaze. Apparently, it is hunting season against StarCraft heroes currently. First, it was Jimmy that got targeted. Now they're going for Blaze over and over again. It obviously resulted in the fort at the bottom of the map getting destroyed. Blue team is responding at the top lane, kinda in kind. They're at least trying to take the wall out, and with one tower destroyed and one gate gone, got a bit close on it. 23 stacks for Jimmy. Still not crazy, but late game could still be good for him. And Nazeebo, 134. Very diligent with one play after another through the maps here. So yeah, that's not going to be a problem for them. Now, the next objective at the top lane seems like 31 APM is still very much so interested in grabbing this one. Experience gains, minute experience, I mean, again, they've been very even through this entire thing. But here comes Cassia again, and this is just the amount of CC that they need to push out in order to get those hits. That was exceptionally well done. They're coming in and they're getting one stun in after another and are able to just beautifully lock Cassia down. Then they go for Jaina, make that a double kill. So they're looking great here. If they can take ETC2 with the slow and the wall here, that would be even better. He is able to slide away. Oh, and was nearly taken down by Jimmy, but it was just not enough. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate for the blue team, I guess, that they didn't get the third kill too. But they should be happy with the 2 kills that they already got in the control of the objective. They at least slow things down, and as we said before, this is half the battle. Slowing things down as much as you can. So, for now, we're getting, yeah, Jimmy doing his thing. Leo draining, or at least attempting to. And off we go. Leo is trying to escape and rush away here. Rest of the team is already fighting for the protector, but this time it's the blue team that actually got it. They just need to enter that thing. And Anubarak does. Nazeebo is at the bottom of the map, picks the item up. I kind of forgot about this too. Takes it at the end, and well, yeah, off we go. Them taking the objective slows down 31 APM. Just what it is. Your goal is the late game. Always has been, always will be. Jimmy with a few more stacks would be nice, but either way, Nazeebo is the main contributor here. So here comes the slide. Talking Nazeebo, yeah, he's in trouble. And Anduin to the rescue. Anduin to the rescue. They nearly got ETC2 with that little push of theirs. And Jaina barely survives as she ice blocks the damage from the protector. That could have been a disaster. It can still be a disaster. They're all low. They're all in trouble. Cocoon on Jaina. Jaina is dead if anybody follows up on it, and nobody does. That's actually crazy. I don't know how the communications worked in that situation, but Jaina should have died 100%, and they just didn't follow on it. They get a kill on Stukov, which is great. They get Cassia too, so that's another double kill, and all of a sudden Team Space is starting to wreak havoc in this one. Everybody else barely got out. They're all low, so they can't even defend their fort, which means that this one is going to get murdered. The fort gets destroyed, and they also take the camp away from the opponent. So more and more pressure coming from the team in blue. They got the stack amount for Nazeebo with 1 more to be hit. 31 stacks also for Jimmy, who is currently top damage in the game. Jimmy is at 37,000 damage. So his auto attacks, they're connecting. They're hitting hard. He might not have as many stacks as you would want at this point, but it's still not bad. And he is doing an enormous amount of work in these team fights against single targets. And on top of that, you have, of course, also him keeping, with the penetrating rounds, the opponent at bay as they're charging for someone like Nazeebo. And, well, they're pushing. Each team has destroyed a fort. 7 kills, 2-3. Bit of a lead in experience. Nothing too spectacular. It's only half a level. But as said before, even if you fall behind with Nazeebo, as long as you get him to 20, you are normally able to claw your way back at least a little bit. And that was the whole game plan here. Not fall too far behind. And they are in the lead right now, so it's working. They're going to be happy about this. They scale way harder than the opponent in the late game because of Nazeebo and the build that they're using on Jimmy. A nice mosh pit, on the other hand, can turn the tides of not only a battle but also a game. So this is one of the factors that they have to keep in mind too. If they at some point clump up and get actually wrecked from the mosh pit side, then this could be a problem as well. Nazeebo is closing in on 200. Yeah. So many of these ugly mounts, by the way. I mean, damn, son. I didn't even notice this until now, until they were riding next to each other. The ugly lizard mount is in the house, and there are way too many of them in here. So it's like, ugh, disgusting. Now, as they're going from camp to camp, it's going to be the next push all the way at the top here. Get the camp, maybe push for the top fort a little bit. The red team is at least forcing them to rotate down to the bottom of the map in order to defend here. There was a threat against the bottom keep for a second. But yeah, the game is just progressing. We are at 18.5, so soon 20 is a possibility. We still have the next protector at the bottom of the map they could technically fight for. If there's going to be another skirmish, and Jimmy has opportunities to stack his level 1 further. Has gone, by the way, on level 13 and 16 to giddy up for the movement speed and also the rallying cry. So we don't get the paint them red or any of like the double penetrating round plays that we're oftentimes seeing these days when Jimmy gets picked on the higher level. Gary the Gigantuan is in the house. Yeah, it is Gary time. And they already have the lead with the 56 points here. So let's go. Right now, yeah, well, 78%, 80%. Leo is coming slowly down to the bottom of the map. It seems like they're willing to fight for this. No. Protector gets taken. They were too late. They weren't willing to engage into it. So now they're starting to do their damage here for another fort. And with Leo rotating towards the top, they might be able to get this. Leo's rotation, by the way, makes perfect sense. Leo's rotating because they are saying, we need experience. We need to get to level 20. As long as the opponent pushes with a full 5-man at the bottom of the map, we can get an advantage through minions by just simply moving top mid with Leo. That costs them a fort, but they are at least able to close the gap a little bit and ensure that they're not falling too far behind around level 20. Bunker! That might have made things just worse for Blaze. He still gets out. Good damage from Cassia. Leo was tempted to rotate in and help out with an entomb and set that fight up, but decided to go back towards the middle, where we now have more XP about to be picked up for Team Space. That gets them closer to level 20, of course. And then Nazeebo can shine. And Nazeebo is at 45,000 damage. 45,000 damage against 48,000 damage. So Jimmy is slightly ahead of Nazeebo at this point. Just to put this into perspective as he's picking up his level 20 talent. Yeah, and there we go. So Vital Infection is ready. And now it's really party time. 31 APM is getting their own level 20 talents, obviously. But this is where the real fun begins. Or it is supposed to begin for the blue team. They're scaling. They're still going to scale more. I mean, they're going to build that baseline talent up even further for Nazeebo to make him even more tanky, and Jimmy is going to get more damage. But generally speaking, this is really what you were waiting for the entire time. So now they got a good shot here. Jimmy is also gone into Sergeant Pepper here. That should help him as well, of course. But they're still playing this a little bit passive, just going from camp to camp. So we're not seeing any aggression from them. Maybe just waiting for the next objective. There's a healing beacon up for grabs too. They already have a couple of turrets. 2 for now. And, well, here comes the red team. So, maybe the fight in the choke point here. Yeah, they want this one. They sniff out ETC quickly. And the spiders, they're nibbling. And that's, again, Nazeebo's damage is exploding here. I'm even going to cut Jimmy some slack and say he was at 50,000 damage, which he wasn't. It was 45,000 against 50,000 damage. That's what we're operating with. And now let's wait for the next few team fights and see how the damage numbers develop from here on out. But, yeah, Nazeebo, even on structures, is going to do more work. Top side, soon going to be pressured too. Go again for the objective. Jet propulsion. Ice block from Jaina. Jaina ice blocked this. That's a problem. That's a big cooldown that she kind of wants. There's the cocoon already being used. Anubarak, he needs to be careful and dives out. Interrupt on ETC's mosh pit. And he gets instantly attacked here by Jimmy, who's also getting way more stacks right now. Thanks to the 20, thanks to the full focus and the auto attack, basically. They gotta disengage from the fight. Nazeebo? Somebody didn't get the memo. Wanted Stukov apparently and trusted in Anduin. That's a bold move, my friend. But he did it. Now we got the kill, the double kill, the triple kill. Make it a quad kill. 4 heroes down, and yep, this is party time. So now they can go for the fort at the top. Nazeebo is top damage in the game already. He surpassed Jimmy. They're moving towards the middle instead of going for the fort, aiming for the keep instead, and they're looking good here. Yeah, I mean, this is massive for them. They might even be able to go further than that. Mad amount of damage right now, and it's only Jaina that is here. Leo will be back in a moment, And the blue team is risking it. They're going for the core. The rest of the team is back in 16 to 25 seconds. You gotta be very careful as Jaina is trying to take him on. Yes, Nubarak didn't go anywhere there. Gets the stun though, and Jaina gets blown to pieces. Jaina just dies. So does Leo, by the way. I don't think he's gonna make it. Okay, he gets out. Wasn't enough damage over time on him. The core is getting slowly destroyed here. Team Space on their way to victory. Jimmy with the Hyperion, and that is it. Team Space claims the W on the first map of the best of 3 series, and 31 APM gets eliminated on Volskaya. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Map number 2, Infernal Shrines. Quick reminder, all the heroes that have been played cannot be played again, so Nazeebo's Reign of Terror cannot be continued. He essentially got like 20,000 damage in like one team fight. Game didn't last much longer after they hit 20, but yeah, he took top damage in the game. Now, this is the second time that Nazeebo wins in this tournament. So he has a 2-0 track record now, unless I missed something. And, well, let's see. Can Team Space close us out with a 2-0? Or are we going to game number 3? Infernal Shrines is, by the way, a map that apparently is loved throughout this all the teams that have played so far in the tournament. So we're going to get it once again. And I'm curious. We still have plenty of heroes around that are going to be really nice here. If we're going to see anything crazy happen. For now, Tyrael gets banned. He's the first one that gets eliminated. Map choice was, by the way, made by Team Space, because the 31 APM decided that they want to have first pick, first ban. It's a choice that you always can make depending on who wins and loses. Loser can always choose. This gives them a bit of an advantage for the next one, and that's also the reason why Johanna is banned here. She's still available. So Team Space would love to get her for themselves, I suppose. But since there is a first pick, first ban on the red team side, they assume that they are prioritizing Johanna highly enough to take her early. So they just ban her out instead. And it's just wreaking havoc currently on the main tanks. I mean, they're banning everything out. Garrosh is banned. Jojo banned. Tyrael, I guess Diablo, Murden are still options. Varian could be taken too, of course. Maybe another ban on the front if they really want to pressure that role further. But that's what it seems like currently. So for Infernal Shrines, if you have a decent Diablo player, he is going to be great here. They ban out Hogger, so no ping-ponging around for now. But yeah, if... first pick Vala. Okay. Alright. So they go into a first pick Vala. I would assume that they're going into... I actually think it's going to be a multi-shot build again. We've seen a multi-shot build already. I don't think that on this level in Division 4 and 5 they're going for an auto attack. If this was a pick on the top end play, I would say auto attack Vala. Triple front line or 2 healers, something like that. But if you go for the Gambit, they might still play it. But my first impulse would be that they go for multi-shot. We'll figure it out. Diablo, again, that was to be expected that he's going to be taken. He's great on Infernal Shrines. If you have anybody that's halfway decent with Diablo, then he's a fantastic choice given that all the tanks that are already banned out. On top of that, we have Sonya, so already have a pretty beefy lineup on the objective. Dehaka, and from ranged we get Chromie. So Chromie can get her damage in easily on this. And then on top of that, of course, with Dehaka, you have some AoE that you can bring in. You have the global that you can use too. So yeah, there's lots that they can pull off with this. Now, with that said and done, we have a ban on Brightwing that shuts down some of the additional global plays that could be made. So if you're looking for a real big macro play, you still have the choice of going Falstad, of course. If you're looking for a real big macro play, they had the choice to go for Falstad because he just got banned. So, yeah, that's not a thing. Still a couple of pseudo-globals that we could get, but which I doubt we're gonna get. Tigers for the Odin rotation. So on every single shrine you can get Odin out, throw that in. Rhaegar, super powerful pick too. I mean, Rhaegar is one of the most picked healers currently at the top level. Together with Malfurion, I guess. Those two are reigning supreme. We have, of course, a lot of really solid supports and healers like Brightwing, Anduin, and others. But Rhaegar has played by far the most, at least in the last tournament, at least he was. Ooh, Medivh, Leyline into Apocalypse, and Kharazim. Okay, this is going to get interesting. This could be really cool. Medivh, when played well, is amazing. Can they pull that off? This could be really, really cool, and it could backfire horribly for them. If they're on point with their coordination and everything, this could get wild. And then we get Mal'Ganis as the final pick. Interesting one. Infernal Shrines, map number 2 between Team Space and 31 APM. 31 APM is trying to bring it back in force game number 3, as on the left side, in blue, we have Amphora on Dehaka for Team Space. We get Owlphilia on Mal'Ganis, Ek on Tigers, Quibi on Chromie, and Fox on Rhaegar. To the right side, Phoenix with Diablo for 31 APM. Inspector Kharazim is playing... okay, yeah. Inspector is playing Kharazim. We have Dr. Zhivago on Sonya. And really an auto attack for Vala. Florence playing Vala here. And Gackle or Geki on Medivh. So this is going to get super interesting now. Because if you can keep Vala alive, she's going to be great. You have Medivh for the shield. And Medivh himself obviously also needs to try and get his baseline completed and survive through all of this. This is a draft that can do an enormous amount of damage and can really work well. You can totally destroy an opponent. But it depends on how well you play it. How well can Medivh stack? Can he keep everybody alive? Can they keep Vala alive? Can they execute combos like Leyline into Apocalypse if this is the play here? Or are they just going to go for Lightning Breath? So there's a lot of questions of can they do it? But the draft itself has an enormous amount of potential, and I mean, we've seen things like this a lot on the top level too. So portal rotations, diving in with a portal, saving targets, all of that needs to be coordinated well and called, and if they are able to communicate on that level, then hey, fantastic. The blue team is going to try and exploit any cracks that they can find in the opponent's armor and take him down here. 5 stacks for Medivh. That in particular is one. If they can get some kills with Chromie on Medivh and reset him a few times, that would of course be the dream for them. Now, we have also on level 1 Dash. So, Tychus is opting for a bit of a different build right now. Medivh with his usual cheating, being his usual cheating self, just sniffing out where the opponent is and trying to figure them out here. But 2 out of the 3 camps at the bottom of the map go to Team Space. So they have a slight advantage there. As Diablo is obviously anchoring the play. First objective is going to be in the middle. Down at the bottom, they're now easily defending. And teams are just trying to get the XP for level 4 and then level 7. And, well, that gives us also the Undoral Anomaly. We have no choice made yet for Tychus. So we'll see what he plays around with. Medivh, and he goes for In the Rhythm. Okay, so they're gonna try and set up some In the Rhythm plays here. Get those stacks and target Diablo with an extended duration on his level 4. Echo gets attacked right away, and instead of going for the trade, goes into the queue. Kharazim, he wanted the kill and wanted to follow up on it. Couldn't quite lock it in. Shrine activated, okay. There's a little bit of a hit, and 5 stacks is all that they got. Yeah, they got... Tigers is really, really low. So, that's a problem. Now, 21 stacks for Vala, 10 stacks for Medivh. First objective up, and they're trying to go for the camp. Both of the teams, by the way, do. The red team is a little bit slow on this. So, we already have heroes for the blue team in the middle, trying to go for the shrine. They get their own camp much faster. I mean, look at this. These guys are way behind. That's the problem for 31 APM right now. Always assuming that the blue team makes a move for the shrine, which they now do. So they're not as heavily ahead as they could have been, I guess, but they take the first 10. Dehaka with the global can also try and eliminate the Shaman camp at the top and is now facing off against Sonya there. 10 stacks to 8, so 31 APM quickly recovered from the situation. Yeah, they're trying to put them to sleep here. Nice drag and a perfect opportunity for Tigers to get some additional stacks. Didn't get as much as you would have hoped for from their perspective, I suppose, but he's sitting at 13. Mal'Ganis needs to rush away here, waits for his cooldowns, and is able to retreat. And the team has picked up like a lot of stacks in the meantime. So this is pretty good for Team Space. They're getting the first objective. Need to send Dehaka towards the top to defend here. Sonya is already spinning around, but that's level 7 now. And yeah, this is going to help them to do some damage here. Interesting choice also from Kharazim as he goes for the Blazing Fists on level 7. So yeah, some alternative talents over here. We got Spreading Plague for Mal'Ganis, and they completely abandoned the Punisher. They just went for a camp. Yeah? I would have assumed that they at least, you know, try and get some damage with it, take that wall down, but instead they just went for 2 mercenary camps. It's kind of crazy that they didn't push with this at all. Now we got the Combat Tactician here too for the minigun duration decrease, so it's really speccing hard into this. They try and go for Vala, and she's dead. That's the first Gambit stack removed. Oh, if they can get Medivh here, that would be the dream. If they... Oh, yes, they wanted him. Couldn't quite get him, but he could get a lot of stacks for Tigers, which is going to help them a lot during the later stages of the game. So, yeah, Vala getting destroyed, that helps. That's 5% of the attack speed bonus gone, so a nice little step for Team Space, and obviously it was also first blood. The dream would be to take Medivh out here. And I think for that one, they could have really decided to just dive in. So, Medivh still providing some portal support. But he's at 30 stacks now, and he is going to do everything that he can to stay alive and ensure that he is completing this quest. They are... Oh my god, like, honestly, they control the choke points with Chromies, like sand, slowing sands. And it's really difficult to just like move through this. Kharazim, bit of a death wish here if you ask me. 50 stacks for Tigers, that's also pretty good. I mean, considering how early in the game we are, that's pretty okay. So if they can continue that a bit, then hey, good on them. There's the level 10 abilities. Next objective should be up soon. Chrome is also nearly done with the level 1 quest. He's currently sitting at 19 out of the 20 that she needs to complete deep breathing. And 32 for Medivh. Yeah, that's the moment when you are starting to get a little bit of adrenaline push every single time that you're in a fight, where you have to be careful. Apocalypse and ley lines. They also have leaps, so they have a lot of CC tools that they can chain. No ley line. No, my bad. They actually went into a polybomb. Okay. So we have potentially leap into Apocalypse or something along those lines. There's the APOC play. They try and go for Tigers, and Tigers just turns it around, dashes forward, or technically at least could, and gets himself another few stacks out of that situation, with Kharazim being dragged back and killed. That's the second kill for Team Space. That was a nice one, and the timing was perfect, just as the shrines are called down. Now, Kharazim will be back. There's a bit of travel time involved, but the initial position they will have to give up. Rega and Dehaka were aiming for the camp and then decided that they actually would not go for it. So they haven't even made a play for it. They are just instead are going for the shrine right from the get-go. Vala at 42 stacks, so she's getting a bit closer to her first potential quest reward. And Kharazim is now back, but has to still move towards the shrine, of course. Diablo doesn't have his Apocalypse ready either. So that's another small problem that they have. But, well, for now. Valhalla! Mal'Ganis tried. Mal'Ganis tried to get close enough to make this a problem for him. There's again. Do we get the drag from the Arca? Yeah, they go for Diablo. And he's nearly dead. And this should be his end as he gets dragged in from the Arca once more. They go for Kharazim. It's a double kill. Ancestral Healing saves the rest. And Vala gets hit hard and is about to die. Medivh completed his quest. And he makes it out. but everybody else essentially died, and Sonya has already given up on this and instead is moving towards the top. It increased the stacks for Tychus further. He's at 87 currently, so this is really, really sweet. But yep, nearly at a 3-second increase on his thingy. So yeah, that is working perfectly for them. So fantastic job for the blue team in the rhythm, nearly the baseline, not the baseline, the minigun. The straight, nearly at a 3-second extension, has now also gone into that's the stuff. So it gets some heals out of this and some extra sustain. They have the talent advantage, 5 kills to 0, and they're really looking good. I mean, Team Space is looking great here. Sonya's rotating between lanes, and so does Dehaka. Rhaegar isn't even with the team. He just went down to the bottom of the map and started to take a camp here. As Tychus pops Odin even, just so they can break through the wall for sure and take the entire thing down. Rhaegar comes through with a heal. Kharazim nearly died. There's the APOC. And Tychus is gone. Yeah, they wanted a little bit too much there. Good job by Vala. So Vala is able to get the first quest reward unlocked, and she was able to get herself a kill too. So the first point, the first kill on the board for 31 APM. Still a 1-level advantage though for Team Space. And obviously one of the biggest advantages that they have currently is all of the stacks that they're getting for Tychus here. That really works. His damage output is looking good. He's at 27,000 and nobody else is even close to that. So the plays are working for them. They took out 1 fort, more than that. But there is a chance that around the next objective they have a level 16 talent advantage over the opponent's team. That's always the risk, of course, that you are running in a situation like this. So we'll see. Top side. Okay, so they're already pushing out the lane with the camp. And the red team rotates over. For just a second, I thought they were engaging in a battle in the middle. And I was like, if you win the fight, it's great. But if you lose it and waste time, then that top lane is going to wreck you. So half a level until 16. With a bit of easy damage. And obviously they want to take the 2 towers out. And that's that. Yeah. Blue team needs to look for opportunities to bring this back. There's the lick. Easy stacks for Tychus. Easiest stacks of his life. Ooh, Sonya with a big jump. Tychus is alive. Gets the Ancestral. They're still following on this a little bit. Sonya is moving in too. Poly bomb. And Mal'Ganis should be fine. And Diablo, I'm not so sure. Here comes also Tychus with another Odin. I mean, he's a little bit trigger happy on that button. But it works for them so far. So 5 kills to 1. 16 not ready yet, but they will get it any second. And Tychus is just forcing them back here. So with level 16 talents, that gives us also the Quantum Overdrive for Chromie. Tychus is now at 107 stacks on level 4. So lots and lots of extra duration on the minigun as he adds the sizzling attacks to the repertoire. Top side, Dehaka. Yeah. Red team still looking for that way back into the game. Half a level until 16, that's the good news. They're gonna be on even talents with the opponent on the objective. That's the good news here. Get another minion wave or 2, take the camp here, and you at least will be able to fight with even talents. So that's gonna be the one thing that's working in their favor. Now another minion wave gets taken out. Rhaegar, they were thinking about getting that camp too, but Dehaka takes over. Rhaegar is moving with the rest of the team slowly towards the top. They want to take the advantage, of course, on the shrine once again. With 16, let's see the follow-up for specifically Kharazim here. After his level 7 choice. Well, for Vala we get Manticore, obviously. And for Kharazim, it's the Cleansing Touch. Cleansing Touch is in. Once again, everybody put to sleep here. Dehaka saying hello after taking the camp. Nice! Chromie down! The Ancestral is missing! The Ancestral missed. I don't even know if Rhaegar was trying to self-Ancestral. I assume not. I mean, you can just... You don't have to click to self-Ancestral. You can just hit the hotkeys. So, it would be weird if he missed the self-Ancestral. It's much, much safer and faster if you just use the hotkey combo for it. But he used it on Tychus. So, this is a great step for 31 APM. Getting 2 kills and being able to get the objective. They have nobody in the middle though, and that's an Inspire push and 3 heroes attacking, so this is likely a fort that gets destroyed. Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate. That's a fort that gets destroyed right there. Red team is trying to push a bit more aggressively at the top. And the next problem is at the bottom of the map because this keep is getting attacked. Yeah, this keep is going to lose hit points. They're trying to defend now at the top as best as they can. Now, this fort will likely fall, but even if it falls, it's essentially just a trade. It's just a trade, fort against fort, that happened. And makes things a little bit more awkward. Sonya had to retreat too. She's defending the bottom of the map, so there's nothing else that they could have done here. Vala has lost 10% of her attack speed bonus. Tychus again with Odin, just using everything that he has in order to defend here. And immediately just tells Kharazim, dude, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Alright, so in the meantime, we're having the red team slowing this down a bit as well. Experience, experience, experience. Level 20 is the next big milestone for both of the teams. So, yeah, they want to make that work. Close the gap as best as you can. It's smaller right now, so they're getting there. Medivh is just like flying around, doing nothing. Lazy, as usual. I'm a bird! Well, kinda are. Bird boy. Him and Malfurion, they were always suspicious. Yeah, they're definitely playing this more cautiously. For 31 APM, there's a lot on the line. Let's not forget, we're in the losers bracket, guys. If 31 APM loses here, they're out of the tournament. Team Space, if they go down on Infernal Shrines, they still have map 3. So they still got a shot there. But, yeah. 116 stacks for Tychus. That gives them quite a bit. And, well, everybody's waiting for the objective to be announced, apparently. The one thing that the blue team could do as this continues a little bit more than they already do is leverage the Haka now that the map is opened up. And they're using him at the bottom of the map. Oh, that is bad. That sucks. They just lost 2 cooldowns, Apoc and Leap, and they might therefore be forced to fight that they do not want whatsoever. Sonya gets attacked here. I think they realized this a little bit too late, but she might still fall. Another lick, and Sonya is gone. Ancestral is saving Mal'Ganis, and now Diablo's exposed. The Haka's coming in again. Once they have another lick there as well. They control the portal the best they can, but look at that choke point. Kharazim gone. Vala gets hit hard by Rhaegar, and Diablo is dead too. They try for Medivh, and he is dead as well. Everybody's dead and gone. 5-man team wipe. And the only, well, survivor, so to say, is Diablo, because he still had his soul stacks together and could respawn. I'm flabbergasted that they're going for the fort, by the way. There's a keep right there. I think they could have taken a keep down. Better than nothing. Get that fort, but they should steal the camps away, should open some walls up, go for the objective too. This was nearly a death blow. There's no way for 31 APM to get to level 20 anymore in time for the objective. So they can push this as well, and they should, at least a bit. Diablo's defending at the bottom of the map, but the objective is now wide open and they can go for it. But yeah, that was fantastic. It was an amazing fight for them. And it all started with 31 APM trying to initiate a fight and a kill, and they just missed their ults. They didn't get the connect with the Leap and with the Apoc. If they get a kill, that's a totally different ball game. But the way this happened, they just couldn't do anything. They lost important ults, couldn't use them in a choke point fight, and now they just give up the objective, try to survive and fight, defend with level 20. Bob and Weave on 20, and well, here we go. That gives us Farflight Quiver for Vala. Medivh is going to start cheating again. Ignore Pain is ready, and a big opportunity for Team Space. They killed all the forts, destroyed every single one of them. They still hold on to 2. Here we go. Glyph of Polybomb, and we have Transgression for Kharazim. So, yeah, it's a Mortar Punisher. And they're going to try and break through that wall and take the first keep out. Side wall is already destroyed. Nice damage from Vala, but she's also starting to lose some HP here, and Chromie could keep her at bay. But it's a pretty easy defense against the Punisher so far. I mean, it's taken a lot of damage. As long as they're also auto-attacking, the keep a little bit, the Inspire buff will trigger on the minions. And yeah, they've been defeated now, but they still chipped in some extra damage. And this thing is down to 50% of its HP. I have no idea, by the way, why they didn't use Odin here either. The entire time, he's so trigger-happy on his ult, and in this case, as they could push in, they don't use it. Might make another attempt with the next minion wave and use Odin then, but they definitely should do something with it. Gets a lot of stacks on his level 4. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's tons of damage that we're seeing here from Tychus, but with Odin you have the range where you can just poke from the distance, and you can get lots done once that the keep is destroyed. So instead they're going for the camps, still giving 31 APM a chance to fight eventually. Yeah, they go for Sonya a little bit. Camp is about to be taken. Nice lick, and he can't escape. Kharazim needs the dash target. Gets one and jumps out. 7-sided strike used to, but that cost them. That cost them a lot of cooldowns again. And Odin is ready now, so they're trying to come in here once more. And this may be even the end of Diablo. He barely makes it out, but that got close. So, yeah, there's the chance to fire away here. Some of the dashes, I don't understand what he's aiming for. Yeah, they get the fort after all. But he's having some fun with his talents, that's for sure. Eco is having a great game. He's having a real fun time with this. 67,000 damage to keep gone. And now, of course, the chance to go for the next few camps on the map and apply even more pressure against the opponent. Next objective is going to spawn in the middle of the map. So, right now, they're taking another Khaldor camp at the bot lane. Medivh is doing a job by sniffing out what's happening here. 53,000 damage for Chromie. 47,000 damage for Vala. And Vala died now 3 times. That's 15% of the attack speed bonus gone. She has 2 quest rewards that she locked in. There's again the APOC. Leap into the back. Wall stun. And a nice Ancestral from Rhaegar. Perfectly timed. Good damage against Vala. And they try to get the kill here. But the drag on Kharazim. 7-sided strike. He should die. Diablo 2. Both of them are low. Both of them are exposed. Both of them are... Oh my god, they get the counter kill. Both of the supports are gone. They actually made it. And Vala survived somehow as well. And as I say, Mal'Ganis comes in and just drops her like a hot potato. Sonya is also eliminated. They're still having some hopes of going for Diablo, and well, he doesn't make it either. He's fully stacked, so he's getting his stacks back. This is another problem. That keep at the bottom of the map is now gone too, so this opens the core up even further. They could go for the objective to play this mega safe, but they're going to try and end the game here. As long as they're keeping... the problem is they don't have a support with them. They don't have a support here. They have Odin though. So they can do damage with Tychus. He can get the self-heal unless he dies to the core now. And then he can go for Odin. They kill Diablo again, and this should be the end of it. So Eco gets the self-heal from his level 13. They don't need Rhaegar right now. The heroes are slowly going to come back, but the core is falling, and the catapults, of course, are going to chunk it down together with the rest of the blue team. A 2-0 victory for Team Space. 31 APM gets eliminated from the Underdog Cup, and Team Space advances to the next round. GG. Well played.